tired.
Funny here. Meeting's open, says Joanne. I don't know if she's really in charge. Are we being recorded?
Yes.
Okay. All right, meeting's being recorded. Let's see, examination of, we're tabling, so motion to table the examination of select board meeting minutes from May 5th.
Yeah, that was a
Second.
gruesome meeting. It
Yeah.
just went on.
Forever?
on,
Yeah,
on.
why would we do that to you? All in favor, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, highway department, there he is. Ray, come on down,
Hey, how you doing?
just in time.
Hey, what's going on?
Going on, my friend.
No, you're good. I don't smell it.
How's everything going?
Good.
Good.
Good. First off, I ended up for the fuel depot, I gave you the quote, that I ended up getting from Bierman Services.
Yes, we saw that last week.
I ended up having a company stop by from JF Petroleum Group of Webster, Mass.
Mhm.
He stopped by and he gave me a card and I showed him exactly what we're looking to end up doing.
Mhm.
Basically cleaning the tanks down, painting them, making sure that we end up having the right lettering on each tank and up to date. And also they do card reading systems, so I figured it wouldn't hurt to get a second quote.
Sure.
So I told him, you get something better than the other company or something that would work for the town
Mhm.
for the right price, maybe we can make something happen. So I seen him on Thursday. He stopped by,
Okay,
so hopefully he'll get back to me pretty soon on that. Got that taken care of.
nice.
First thing, so the crew did a quarter-mile of tree trimming on Curtis Hall Road. Cause we had the holiday last Monday, so I'm going back quite a bit now. And that's- We first had some debris on the communication wires and there was a tree that was actually in the road that any regular pickup truck would end up hitting, heading
Mhm.
towards schoolhouse, so. I ended up sending Mario out there, Brian and Mike. And I joined them to make sure everything was good, make sure they had the right signage. After trimming that one branch, I figured, you know, it might as well, it's not raining out, let's continue going on this. Mario has his license to operate the truck, the guys need some experience doing flagging and,
Mhm.
you know, safety, so that was good. So we did a whole quarter mile, starting from Schoolhouse Road from the stop sign, went pretty much down to the last house, and then it ended up starting to rain, so at that point I said, get back to the shop, but they did good, honestly. Now we had a call of concern on Schoolhouse. Someone illegally dumped asphalt on the Nybrook end going in. So it wasn't us, you know, so the landowner called and I got in contact with him and talked to him. And so we went down, checked out Schoolhouse. He mentioned that the road was in disarray and it needed some attention, so went down, looked at it. We just finished up South Street Extension, prepping for Palmer Paving to come out and do the paving next month. So I ended up, instead of skipping over it and trying to run around town back and forth, it's on the way. We brought all the equipment down there and I ended up having Matt run 2 loads of stone. We raised the road level up. We ended up working the ditch line, and then afterwards by hand, we picked up all the asphalt that was dumped from a pretty good sized dump truck, put it in the bucket of loader and then removed of it from the roadway.
Okay.
We ended up defining the ditches all the way down past the bridge to the landowners and made sure it was completely passable.
Mhm.
It's good solid base on it. And at the same time, we're happy to have the company of Tom Ackley hanging out with us for the day.
Oh,
So,
good.
you know, he came down there and he gave the guys some pointers and stuff in the absence of myself.
Mhm.
So, especially with a couple of years' experience he has, that
Yeah.
worked out pretty good.
Good.
So after we ended up taking care of Schoolhouse, I ended up getting a call from the landowner and he was very happy with the work performed. especially since he had an event happening this weekend down on that property for a family member, so that was, good to hear from him, honestly. Next thing, after we ended up getting, schoolhouse taken care of, we wrapped up there. And while we had the roller there, we ended up having a call about the end of Nybrook, so I ended up sending them down to the end of there since we're right on the same road. Ran the grader and the rake down there, and then also we had the roller to our advantage. We ended up rolling out the road and making sure that the millings were smooth and passable for the homeowner. Which they did reach out to the department and with many thanks, appreciated the work. So after we finished up the Nybrook extension, like the end of Nybrook there, we ended up taking a move and we went up to the north end of town and we started working on Buellland Road. So we I went up and took a look at it before the guys started getting up there, and it needed a lot of work. The ditches needed work, the road surface needed a lot of work, so we need to end up dedicating some time. I put 42 tons of stone on that road. And spread it out. It looks good. I'm happy with the, at least it's a lot more passable.
Nice job.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Much better.
So they did a very good job on there, and I was happy with the completion of that job and how that came out. And having Tonalino to our advantage, being able to deliver the stone, since I'm in the office and needing to get the clerical work done, Matt's the only one that has the CDL license on our crew right now. So we would limp along if I needed him to go in the dump truck to Otis to get material. And him being the one to operate the grader too on top of that, that would be even more of a challenge for the department to complete the stuff in a timely manner. One thing I can say is the crew with the new guys, rotating them out of the seat. They're getting seat time. They never ran a roller before.
What does that mean, right?
So seat time means when you put the actual individual in the seat of the machinery.
So they're learning the machine.
They're learning in the machine. I'm putting them at the controls. I walked with Ryan. He was the first one when we did Hayden. That was a road that we ended up where we got it dropped off. We had a lot of work to do down there when we first got the roller. So we ended up executing that road and getting that at least cleaned up. So I ended up getting Ryan in the seat first. Once we got up to Buellland, I ended up switching and I put Mike in the seat of that because you don't need a license to run that machinery. So it's a good spot to start. It's flat. There's not a lot of wet areas that you could slide a roller off into because you honestly could take a roller and put her sideways right into a ditch if it's wet enough, especially if you don't know when to turn the vibrator off. But I gotta admit, they are doing very well working together. With all this rain that we've been having, with the heavier beaver populations in town, it's been a problem for Blandford. And the water levels are creeping towards the fog lines overnight. With the roads being submerged, I've gotten calls last week from Tallinn. I've gotten calls from residents of, people saying that, hey, the road is flooding.
On what road? On Thunder Road?
No, on Curtis Hall.
Curtis Hall.
Curtis Hall. There's a section out there that's been flooding pretty bad. So I am aware of it. That's where our cones got stolen from.
Yes, I remember.
2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, I put out cones and someone ended up walking away with them. So I'm not gonna put cones back out because they're just disappearing. And I pulled the grade out. It's not changing anything. The water level's so high, it's level on each side and the road is disappearing.
And you said that the land around the road is not sprinkled water, it's,
No, it's not
It
sprinkled
belongs to
water,
us.
no, actually, it doesn't belong to us, it actually belongs to the state of Massachusetts on one half of the culvert pipe facing where the lake is now forming.
okay,
We have, I have been working with Dick Gates.
It's not here.
Not here right now, so
okay.
I have been working with conservation and, we've been trying to mitigate this, situation.
So land abutting on one side at least belong to the state,
On the left side, it's belonged to Mass Wildlife. They have a good section of the lake.
okay,
One exit goes out in the Mass Wildlife's refuge area. The other goes through private property and then goes underneath schoolhouse and dumps into a Otis Reservoir.
okay.
But you have a development area where it's populated with residents on the Tollins side, right there in the Otis side.
So is there anyone that we can contact Mass Wildlife? Let
So
them know that,
Dick has reached out.
okay,
So Dick has reached out with his connections. And so he's waiting for a call back from them. So
Okay.
I've been doing my part on this for Blandford itself.
Ray, do you know where the problem's originating from?
Yes, I do. So with this said, I've obtained all the proper permits through the town's, GIS,
Mhm.
what the GSI?
GIS.
No,
the map.
GIS map, so I ended up starting there because I needed to see who owns what in that area.
mhm,
So I ended up pinpointing the landowners, but no numbers are on file with the town with them. So I did some research online, calling around, leaving my message, call me back. And I did get a response from the landowners finally.
where you think it's originating from,
I put eyes on where it's happening. We have
and that's private property?
that's private property, yes.
Okay.
So, we ended up, the problem is the dam's so big, if the dam gives out, we're gonna end up having a problem. It's gonna end up washing out Schoolhouse Road and also issues with the residents,
Mhm,
in that area. So working with Dick, the options that I ended up having, because our roadway is gonna get ruined by this.
mhm,
There's timbers under that road.
Mhm.
Tom Ackley told me when they built that road, they ended up putting timbers under the road. And then they ended up putting the stone and then eventually it got asphalted. So one thing I am starting to see with this road, paying so much attention lately out there,
mhm.
is one side of the road is starting to creep in. And that's from the traffic driving over and it just being in a puddle basically.
Hmm.
So if we don't mitigate this situation, I could see us having a very costly fee of grinding that road down and raising that road up, because the power line that runs below the culvert pipe, under that water in that section of Curtis Hall, there's actually a power line on the right-hand side heading to Schoolhouse.
Oh, my God.
And Tom Ackley was the one that knows about that power line. So the only way I see that end up being resolved is by raising the road up. And that is a big section of road. And not just that, you got now wetlands where there weren't wetlands before.
Mhm.
Is there a way, Eversource can raise that power line?
It'd be interesting to see if they could put a pole.
Has
put
anyone
pole
reached out to
systems.
them to just let them know?
I haven't reached out to Eversource because
Okay.
I mainly wanted to try addressing the water issue first at this moment. We're not digging anything.
Mhm.
We're not replacing the culvert. The culvert pipe is doing its job. It's not plugged. It's not failing. It's just the water level's so high, our road's gonna end up disappearing. Like that's basically what's gonna end up happening at that end.
So if you guys mitigate this, right, and don't address the cause of it, it's just gonna keep happening.
That's my point. So people talk about putting beaver deceivers in. We're talking a lot of money long term. And the beaver deceivers, you put those in, you gotta pay a company to go out there and clean these things. I've counted 6 huts out there in that lake area.
Mhm.
So it's not just one beaver that's floating around doing all this damage. We got a trap. but the problem is trapping costs money.
Well, it
And,
sounds like who's owning the property needs to do the trapping, so
Okay.
Mass Wildlife would be. It sounds like they need to do the trapping to get rid of them. I mean, that's what we had with Springfield Water with the other situation.
Yes, but you had said it's originating from a private property, not mass wildlife.
it's not originating from Mass Wildlife.
But are some of the dams and huts on Mass Wildlife property?
No.
Um,
I did not go on Mass Wildlife property, because that's further in, all the way down on the Tolland end, basically.
so that'd be.
I only went in on the Blanford side. After I received permission from the landowners, I then ended up going onto the property. Very nice family. He says he duck hunts out there. He honestly, he doesn't want to see the lake disappear. He knew that there was beavers out there, but he just doesn't want to see it dry up and turn back to a field. So when I ended up going out there, and originally I brought Matt with me, so we ended up seeing what is going on. We have there's a 15, at least 10 to 15 foot beaver dam that's going about 400 yards all the way across where this lagoon is now formed, where the brook used to flow. It caught my eye because I went to the exit on Schoolhouse where Tolland and Blanford share a draft site for the fire department, and it's dry. But I have water pouring over the road up at our end in Blanford.
So there's another problem.
Well, this brought me to this problem. I ended up hiking from that draft site up the brook to see what was happening. And then there's 3 stages of dams going up to the major one. So you have 3 foot, 3 foot, 3 foot, and then you have at least an 8 to 10 foot, if not more, dam tall. And it is holding back all that water
I
at
wonder
this
if
point.
that constitutes any sort of emergency. with not
So
being-
I did end up pulling an emergency permit through Board of Health, because the road, what are you gonna do? Shut the road down? You can't shut the road down right now.
Mhm.
We have to at least see if we can mitigate this at least. So I spoke with Jen. Jen ended up getting me an emergency 10-day permit. I ended up contacting the licensed beaver trapper, Gene. He's done work for us in town before. And he actually set up 2 different sites, one at the Upper Beaver Dam and one right at our culvert pipe there.
Mhm.
We do have a right of way. That's our property, everywhere in town.
Mhm.
We have right of ways everywhere. He set up 3 traps right along the edge of the road. He has them labeled completely, marked out so that no one ends up getting trapped or a dog walks into it. And he's already gotten 3 beavers out of there, and one of them is a female, which is good news. I'd hate to kill the beavers, but we have to end up doing something about it.
And that's gonna be, highway department. I'm just thinking funding wise.
I'm thinking funding wise too. I'm really
I mean, it's obviously necessary, but I guess we have that discussion when it comes in.
if this isn't just the only place in town now too. Even up on Gibbs Road today, Friday, I ended up going up to Gibbs, pulling the grate out, cleaning everything off of it. The water was coming over the road. This weekend, I ended up going up to Gibbs and running the JCB. I'm keeping the JCB right in spot because of how frequent I'm having to clean this out. And today, I went up to Gibbs again. So
Okay.
that's 3 times in less than a week. The water's pouring over the road a good amount because they're just plugging it up the beavers on Gibbs Road. But I'm paying attention to that, but that's gonna be the next spot that I gotta talk with Dick about and see if I can end up getting a permit and we end up getting some trapping done there. I am gonna be contacting Nicole tomorrow from Springfield Water because the area further down on Gibbs, not to get off of the other beaver issue, but the steel culvert pipe down there, I have about 4 inches on each side. So the pipe isn't plugged. The water levels rose so much because of the dams that they have in that area where the steam pipe is.
So do you think the beaver deceivers are a good job, are a good?
I think we need to end up
I mean, they
finding
don't seem to be too expensive, honestly, the cleanout seems to be.
long
worth
term.
it. Yeah,
I don't see, yes, it's a quick solution. We'll get the water flowing and we won't have to worry about water coming across the actual road. I did reach out to the Beaver Deceiver Company today and I'm waiting for them to get back to me
We've
because
got a couple other in town. that-
I would, well, they haven't been touched. All the time I've been here, they haven't been
Yeah.
touched and it's a fee. It's close to $1,000, I know, from speaking to other towns to come out and clean them things out.
Yeah,
So, and that's every time. So if I'm cleaning a grate 3 times, a week so far up on Gibbs,
Hmm.
we put a Beaver Deceiver in there.
I think that it was only like a yearly clean out. situation.
Annual?
Yeah, but
Okay.
when you get more
So,
information from him, let us
That's
know.
where in the future we need to end up talking about where the money,
Yeah,
if this is gonna be a town venture, where the money's gonna come from, cause I'm gonna run out of money out of my
Mhm.
roads budget to end up chasing beavers all over town,
Yeah.
it's sad, but it could happen.
Yeah.
Kara, do we have a sense of the cost?
He's gonna get us a price from the
Okay.
company, but we've
Yeah.
worked with the company before, and I know that it was nothing astronomical in terms of coming out to maintain. Now, this was a few years ago, but I know that we were looking at, contracting with him to come out yearly and maintain. I'm not sure why it's not happening now.
Obviously, I'm just thinking about procurement issues and.
Correct, it was not, it was like, from what I remember, it was like $3,000 a contract to clean what we had
Okay.
yearly or something.
Yeah, under,
It wasn't like-
under 10 grand. we're-
Yeah, it was
Oh,
not.
yeah,
big.
no, we're not worried about procurement on that at all. No way.
I just think, I do have to move this along, but I just think, long term, if
Yeah.
we're thinking about permits in terms of taking the dams down.
So that's where I'm going with this. So
Okay,
I'm looking into seeing if we can do that. We can't just breach the dam. I've spoken to a couple contractors that have been hired to slowly remove a dam.
okay,
But if we ended up popping that whole thing, we're gonna lose a road on Tolland's side, and that's gonna be Blanford's fault, and I don't want that to
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
So we're not touching the dam. We're trapping them, get them out of there. In the meantime, I'll keep you posted on what is happening
okay,
with that whole situation.
yeah, please do.
So,
Next time that we meet, Ray, I know there's some June 1st things on here that we'll
Yeah.
talk about. So we'll plan on talking about that next time we meet, does that
Okay.
work for you? And you have a copy of this?
Yep.
Right, yeah, okay. Just in the interest of time. Did you have anything else for
Yeah, I
us
do.
tonight? Okay.
after completing Buell Road, I moved the crew up to George Millard. And we started doing the ditch work, getting that cleaned up and preparing to resurface that road at the same time. Now, once this road, George Millard, is completed, the department will have completed the list of roads that was submitted to the select board for the merit system goals. The department has been working very hard as a whole team, I've noticed,
Mhm.
to achieve these goals and have gone above and beyond in my eyes in completing the extra roads that were not included in the list. These problems range from overcoming problems with the weather that changes very rapidly. Equipment failure. With them working as a team, I've noticed great progress as they are learning from one another to have great success without hesitation. The townspeople have come forward in thanks, which is greatly appreciated.
Mhm.
With Rainey's assistance, I've formally submitted my first Chapter 90 road project earlier this week. I was waiting for a response, which was to happen, but did not happen until today. And it has been accepted by the state.
Great.
For you.
So the work is gonna be scheduled for June 16th to the 18th on South Street Extension and Cobble Mountain Road. The guys will be out there and they will be working on Cobble Mountain before they do come out. So we're talking like ditch work, blowing the road off, any tree trimming. I do not wanna be working on the road after we get fresh asphalt on it.
Mhm.
I want the residents just to drive on it, and that would be it. So any type of concerns we have, I wanna end up addressing prior to them coming onto the road.
Okay,
So now I can say I feel confident in doing Chapter 90 very proficiently.
okay,
Once this project is complete, then I have a post paperwork that I have to fill out, which has been explained thoroughly to me from Rainey. I finally today had a response from Jason Forge,
Four, yep.
today at 3:35 PM. Response in the inspection, that I walked him around up at the salt shed in the garage. And he wanted to set up again another meetup, so Friday at 7:30 AM. I'm gonna end up meeting with him and we're gonna go up to the salt shed and we're gonna end up looking at the garage.
Mhm.
From the diminishing bricks and stuff in the, just
Yeah.
on the building itself. So issues we have in the department right now, the bucket truck, after we ended up doing the flag poles, getting the flags put up, we were doing the tree work a couple weeks ago, brought it back to the shop, noticed a large amount of hydraulic oil coming out of the actual telescoping boom. So I haven't had time to look at it, but we're gonna end up taking a peek at it and see if it's something that could end up getting fixed, but we've been busy addressing the dirt roads at this point, so luckily we haven't been needing that truck right now.
Okay,
The JF Petroleum Group I told you about, stopped by the shop, so I'm waiting for input from them.
mhm,
I have retained a porta potty with a wash station from White Wolf. Washington, Massachusetts, for the sum of $150 a month. Which I will submit the bill to the town when I receive one, or until the work is completed in the bathroom. If they give me a total bill or if it's monthly, obviously until we're done, they're not gonna end up giving me that.
mhm,
So I have that at the shop. That does have a wash sink in it too, so that we don't have to worry about the guys washing their hands. So that's all in one. I've reached out to Kathy from Bay State Roads last week. And I filled out a request form to host in-house chainsaw safety course, which I really see the guys. The new guys, Mario, even myself, I learned a lot. It would be good to end up having a refresher course for the guys that have the experience, but for the new guys, so that I feel that they have the confidence and the safety knowledge of operating a chainsaw, especially with the weather that we're dealing with. So one benefit of dealing with the UMass Bay State Roads, if you end up hosting an actual class, you get 2 free spots. So instead of $400 for the 2 per people that you would send, you're getting those spots for free.
Oh, cool.
So on top of that, I was speaking with Adam Doby, seeing if maybe we could do a joint venture if before they end up setting it up for other towns to come. If we can end up making sure that everybody on our fire department is trained with the chainsaw course, safety course, because I've been in house fires and we gotta end up getting the chainsaw out to cut the roof in the attic open to get to where the chimney's burning and behind the wall. So I figured that'd be good benefit for the town as a whole, not just for the highway department individually. So the salt yard has plenty of room up there. We have plenty of trees. And we have the room in here that we could end up having, like we did last time, I believe Dave did that. We had a classroom in here for half a day and then it was hands-on up at the salt yard. So I'm waiting to get back some information from her. I'm gonna end up trying to do a hosting event here.
okay,
Save the town some money and we don't have to go anywhere, it's right here.
sounds good.
Also, I have submitted all paperwork on time Friday for the bid tribulations for fiscal year 2026 through Franklin Regional Council of Governments. So all of our bid pricing and our packages are locked in.
Okay,
And everything is submitted on time, and everything we did in February that Rainey worked with me on, it was very easy to transition over and submit the final paperwork on my own. So that worked out.
okay,
So that's completed for the town of Blandford. I think that's all I got pretty much to hand over to you guys right now. Is there any questions or
No.
concerns or?
no, that's fantastic, I appreciate it, thank you. for
Really?
Putting
Okay.
that together.
All right.
We'll touch more just in the interest of time tonight, but I'm just gonna check, cause I know you touched on some of these things and we'll just, if there's anything else, then we'll talk about it
Okay.
next time we see you.
All right, you guys already had the proposal for the bathroom.
Yes,
Alright, so I just want you to know, I did reach out to 2 more plumbing services
okay,
to see if I could get a better deal. And the plumbing services, they didn't end up even wanting to touch the job.
all right. so I guess
They're
we'll-
pulling hair out of drains and
Yeah.
changing faucets. They don't even wanna come up here. One was local in Montgomery
Mhm,
and the other one was in Westfield. I ended up reaching out to,
okay.
but the
So
two
we'll
that
go-
I,
yeah.
the 2 that I submitted, they're ready to go, and if we can end up getting the ball rolling on
So
that,
you're waiting on us to approve one of those?
yeah.
Okay. can we
Well,
do
you
that?
need both, actually.
Oh, it was,
That, unless you go out to bid, that would, or get 3 quotes, that's gonna be emergency procurement, because it's over
Oh.
10,000.
oh, it is.
Yeah.
10,000.
You need one more quote,
He's only, well, he's
would
got
need
2
2.
jobs. So,
so we need somebody else to quote it, what you're saying.
So I got Steve's Plumbing,
he's good,
Montgomery.
We got Steve's.
I got Steve's Plumbing, he
Yeah.
said he,
Yeah.
once
So-
I mentioned busting up concrete and doing black pipe, he said, I don't have the
So
time.
I'm just gonna interrupt you only because, like I said, we are on a time limit.
Is
tonight.
there another meeting tonight?
Yeah.
We got town meetings.
annual.
Oh, I didn't, I was wondering why you're here, I'm like, geez, the lawyers here, like.
Because, I mean, we could deem it an emergency, I mean, it's been a disaster for a
Well,
while.
there's an
but-
email here from the Board of Health that we can go over really
So
quickly,
let's
but
just-
that's fine.
Okay, so you just need us to approve that. Letter
Do
from,
you have the actual, quotes?
Yes,
Okay.
I would need those.
you got it.
Okay.
okay,
And do
so,
you have proof that you reached out to, 2 other vendors for these?
I can tomorrow ask them to send me an email and tell them, hey, can you just tell me that you're not
Perfect.
interested in
Well, you
working?
just- no, don't say that, don't
Oh.
say that. You just have to ask them, you should outline what the work that needs to be done and ask them if they will provide a quote. It's there, it's on them to respond to that, but don't.
I already asked them and they,
We just need
one
it
said
already.
no,
We need it
So
right.
we just
you
need
need it
it
in
right.
writing.
yeah,
What's
That's
this, what was the quote that you got? How much?
The total quote. 5,300 and the other one I have here is for 9,450.
It's one company, so it's about 14,000.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
All right, so you need us to motion the
I
emergency?
need, well, no, it's not an emergency. If he's reached out to 3 different vendors
Mhm.
and he's gotten a reply, as long as
So
he
you
gets
just need that
one,
reply?
I just need, but I need proof that he's reached out to 3.
Yeah, okay,
With the same, ask, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's gotta be the same.
Same
ask.
scope, same
Yeah,
scope.
same scope of work.
okay. So would this be, just a quick question, would this be considered 2? So you just need one more?
No,
No.
because that's,
Same co-
that's.
This is
one-
2 different companies.
but the,
Oh,
but the scope
but
of
it's-
work is different for each one.
The scope of work is
Is that
different.
for
for
2
each one.
different projects, 2 different, 2 different locations?
We're gonna be breaking ground, going to the septic, and then one's gonna end up putting new black pipe up through the building because it's not in code anymore.
The other thing is,
You can't fix it like that.
no, well, the other thing is prevailing wage.
Oh,
If we're doing building construction or public works construction, we also need prevailing wage.
You need the worksheet for that,
We need
Okay.
to get the prevailing wage sheets.
okay?
I
they
think
should
this-
have that, right?
They would need to get that from the state. The department.
What do you need me to do?
Questions prevailing wage.
And then those 2 other responses, right?
2 different vendors.
This might be a
doing the
discussion
same job.
outside of this meeting.
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Alright.
M&M would be doing the outside work
Oh.
and Connor the inside work on this quote.
Yeah.
So these
We-
quotes are
Yeah.
actually submitted as
Okay.
a deal.
Ray, we will, thank you.
Together.
Together.
But 2 separate prices though, they
Let's-
get combined at the end.
Yeah, but this covers the plumbing. this
Yes.
covers the outside.
So let's
Exactly.
continue this
Well-
conversation, at another time, because it sounds
Yeah.
like there's more.
there's
that needs to
more,
be-
yeah, I think we should discuss it separately. I'm available tomorrow, Christina's available tomorrow, maybe we.
I'm available tomorrow too,
We can get a call together
okay,
and lay out exactly what you need to do.
okay,
All right,
that'd be good,
thank you guys,
appreciate it.
we're pushing on. Christina,
Yes,
you're up next.
Thank
okay,
you.
so, you'll see in your packet there that for 71 Chester Road, there
Mhm.
is a right to entry for the proposed fix of the property that was excavated
Yeah.
and then built. I've spoken with Mr. Kana. I told him that I was gonna give it to the select board for their review first, and
Yeah.
then I would give it to him. If he chooses to sign it, then we can move forward.
Okay,
If he does not choose to sign it, then that's on him as well. It's his decision to make. We're not forcing it on him, but this is the choice being offered to
and it's
him.
been reviewed by council.
It was
It was
drafted
drafted
by
by
council.
council, so
Perfect.
thankfully.
All right, so I would make a motion to approve the right of entry for 71 Chester Road with the. Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
I contacted Ryan Bangle for the mowing of the leach field. I'm still just waiting for a quote back.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Okay,
On that. The landscaper, there was concern about the weeding at the Bicentennial Park, but I did see his truck over there today for at least an hour and a half, so I think he's gone. I contacted him. I said, those ferns apparently aren't supposed to be there.
yeah,
Stupid me. I thought they looked nice. I thought they're weeds, I guess.
Yeah,
They're not
they're
supposed to be
weeds.
there. So I think he's been over there taking care of that today.
okay,
I've worked with Novus and Vadar to add access for Ray and Jen so that they can access their accounts on Vadar.
great.
John Gould sent me a response to our questions from the DPU. I had forwarded it to TJ Conservation Commission. I can make it available to have whoever wants to read them. It was just the questions regarding the battery energy storage.
Okay,
And what the state is, willing to do, help, assist with as far
Okay.
as our concerns here in Blanford. You'll see in your packet there too, that there is an appointment, should you so wish to, for
For
the
the
ad
climate
hoc
leader.
commission for the climate leader. And then there is an outline of what the climate leader, group is tasked with and what they are not tasked with.
okay. All right, so I would
Motion there.
move that the select board establish an ad hoc advisory committee to be appointed by the board with a specific and limited purpose of gathering information regarding the Massachusetts climate leader community designation. The committee's sole charge at this stage, you have this, Joanne, so you.
She does.
Shall be to collect and report back to the board on the pertinent details of the designation process, including but not limited to the steps involved, requirements, potential implications, and possible benefits or challenges of pursuing the designation. This vote does not constitute or imply select board approval to apply for or pursue the climate leader community designation at this time. It is solely to allow the advisory committee to investigate and inform the board for future deliberation. The committee shall operate in compliance with the open meeting law and the conflict of interest law. Is there a second?
Second,
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
aye.
Aye. And then we have the, designation committee charge, and you have that all drafted to, for
Yes,
these
so
folks.
that will
Okay.
eventually go on the website for Wendy to upload.
Okay,
And then it will, the board would appoint who they would like the members of the committee to be.
okay,
But I think, I know that we have volunteers, but
Yeah.
this is the first step.
okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, I also have this to approve, the resignation from John.
Yes, so John, Carrington resigned from the Hilltown Community Ambulance.
5/27, effective May 31st.
And they reached out to me for another appointee.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure.
Okay, so first off, did we already approve this? I think we
You
did.
don't have to,
He
Yeah,
resigned.
he
and
was-
we've got a copy.
So I think let's touch base with Adam and see if anyone on the fire department, or I guess the police department would be
Or the
interested.
Board of Health.
Or Board of Health. I guess any emergency management members is interested in joining that. And then if there's any interest, I know that they want us to appoint someone soon, so,
Okay.
all right.
So the email that I received this morning, Jen Gerard from the Board of Health asked me to quickly go over it in her absence. She was unable to be here. On Friday, May 30th, the Board of Health went to the highway garage and they inspected the bathroom. One drain has fecal waste coming up with water when the hand sink is being used. The water overruns the entire floor. They did their inspection. They are not sure that it's even a safe place for the fire truck to be held, but that is only their opinion. I did speak with Jason Ford. As Ray mentioned earlier, Jason will be going out to inspect both the salt shed again and the highway department, but just so it's clear, Jason won't be giving recommendations. He will just be saying, you know, either he could condemn as is, which he doesn't believe that they are in state to do that. But he would say that he would suggest to get licensed contractors in there to provide a scope of work that needs to be done, that they feel to get the
Okay.
building back in both buildings up to code.
Okay.
Ray had addressed the issue with the porta potties, so that's all set. Jackie Curry from the finance committee and myself had a meeting with the people from RCAP. And on June 9th, they will be attending a select board meeting just to do a quick
Fantastic.
overview
Okay.
of their services and what they offer.
Okay.
And for me, that's really it.
All right, do we need me to do these appointments tonight, or should we,
I can put them back on.
maybe let's put them back on so we can
got
get the
rest of
warrant.
them.
We can go over the warrant.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll table that, all the action items until, motion to table the action item until next week. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We don't close to reconvene to go over the warrant, right? We go over
No,
it.
we
Okay.
go, we stay in the,
Dave, do you want to come on up to go over the warrant? Do I have a copy of it?
You never get there.
So I know, right? Busy.
and we have a long warrant.
I know, I don't think I have a copy of the warrant.
I don't either.
No problem.
So thank you very much.
Frankly, we looked over this enough times, right?
It's a long warrant though, but I think
Yeah, but a
there
lot
are
of it's
things,
all that.
I was just saying, a lot of it, we should be able to compress.
What are your recommendations? I'm looking forward to it.
Let's, unless you want to be here a while, let's wait till I get the warrant, but I think there are some pretty standard articles here that we can combine,
Yes,
so we can shorten up.
Nobody's got a copy of the warrant?
Nobody has a copy.
I do.
Where'd you get
I
it?
do.
He's the only one that came prepared.
No, I asked Mary.
TJ,
Oh.
I came prepared.
Oh,
Dave had to
That's
ask.
because I don't have the warrant, so everybody's waiting for me to turn.
No, Christina just-
I
Christina
don't
just-
need it,
Christina just,
they do.
Christina will get it.
very difficult for me to bite my tongue at this point, but I'm going to.
I hope that tastes good, TJ.
yeah.
Don't bite it too hard.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate any of those numbers changing?
No,
Oh,
Thank you so much.
I don't think.
I don't at this point.
Okay, I think I'm a novel.
School and stuff?
All right,
That's fine.
Mary, you have yours?
I have a
I'm
copy.
assuming?
It is a bit of a novel, but again, I think that a lot of it, we can,
do you want to go through it, or do you want me to go through it?
well, however you want to do it, do you want to do it article by article?
Sure, so Article 1. Basic, we don't need.
That's, the article one is just, yeah, you want me to,
Yeah, you go through.
okay, so article one is
It's
just
gonna be-
reports to town officials, no, I don't think we have any reports, do we, Christina?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's town reports.
But I wasn't sure, but that's, I mean, there's no vote, so
Okay,
that just moves forward on its own. So then we've got the appropriations, article 2 is the gateway, article 3 is vocational. Article 4 is transportation for vocational, article 5 is the big budget article, so those obviously are all, we can't lump those together. Article 6 is short-term borrowing, and now we get into a bunch of stabilization fund articles.
Mhm.
These are all simple majority, we're putting money into stabilization. So, Mr. Moderator, I think we might be able to lump. Article 7 is into the general purpose stabilization, 25 grand. Article 8, 25 grand to building stabilization. Article 9, 210 into the library stabilization. Article 10, 25 grand into the education stabilization. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 I don't think those will be controversial. We can take those together. Obviously, people could ask questions. Article 11 is 50,000 into the OPEB.
Mhm.
Again, I don't think that's controversial if you want to take that also. I don't know if you want to split like the stabilizations, take them all together, whether you'd want to take the OPEB as well. That's kind of it's not the same, but it's
Yeah, let's leave 11 as separate.
Okay.
Those four.
okay. So 11 we'll say separate. 12, now we're getting into the water department operations. So that's the budget for the water department. 13 is taking money from the water department stabilization into the operating budget. So that's also operation of the water department. Just for your information, the law has changed, so taking money out of a special stabilization fund is now a simple majority vote. So that's why you'll see, even though we're taking money in 13 out of stabilization, simple majority vote. 14, taking money from water department retained earnings to the water department budgets. These are it's 12, 13, and 14, and 15, transferring from water receipts to the general fund to pay for indirect costs. And then 16, water department receipts, 44,000, the general fund to repay the general fund for funds that the general fund town put into. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 articles that are essentially all water department budgeting. And they're all simple majority vote. Mr. Moderator, I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I'd be surprised if anybody has specific questions. They may have general questions about the operation of the water department, and obviously anybody can ask questions about anyone. So whether you want to take those, so that would be, again, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Sounds good.
Okay. Shortening our night. 17, now we're getting into broadband. So 17 is transfer from broadband receipts, $581,506 to operate the MLP, the municipal light plant, for the next fiscal year. 18 is transferring from broadband retained earnings, $25,000, the light plant stabilization funds. It's not, so that's savings for future costs. And then Article 19, transferring from retained earnings, $55,000 to the municipal light plant operating budget. So those three are all MLP articles. One is their stabilization fund. The other two are their operations. What are your thoughts on that?
I think we can combine those.
Okay, good. 17, amending the general bylaws with respect to posting of the warrant. Oh, 20, I'm
20.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, so 20, no, keep me on my toes. So 20 is a bylaw amendment. We should keep that separate. 21 is just ministerial corrections to bylaws. 22, we're now getting into a couple of articles having to do with exemptions from taxation. So 22 is the elderly widow and widower's property tax exemption. So that's a new exemption accepted by the town, and a limit of $40,000, and the CPI. Article 26 is another exemption for elderly widow and widowers. It's under the same, again, these are all in the Chapter 59, Section 5. These are all.
It's
Hey.
Article 23.
Article 23, what did I say?
26, it's okay.
Oh my gosh, I gotta yell at me. So yeah, Article 26, and then Article,
Go ahead.
It's 23, you said 26 again.
23, 24.
There you go.
You gotta yell louder. So Articles 22, I'm not doing so well, 22, 23, and 24 are all the exemptions for various
Assessors.
assessor tax implications.
So you want to combine those?
That,
What do you think?
I think they're all pretty basics.
they're pretty basic, they sound more complicated than they are, we can go into details, but they are pretty basic, and I don't think anybody's going to object to them because they're beneficial to everybody. And they're just statutory exemptions, so if we did those together, so that was 22, 23, and 24,
That is
right?
correct, yes.
Okay. Check my math. Then 25 is a zoning amendment. This is the floodplain district. Every town is doing this year because we have new FEMA maps.
Okay.
So it's a zoning amendment, so it's a 2/3 vote. It's very long. It's gonna take Dave forever to read it.
He doesn't have to read it.
No, he does not have to read it. But
It's not fun.
I think that, so there's nothing we can really do to deal with that, but I imagine that pages and pages.
Yep, all the way to 14.
Yeah,
Oh, my
And
God.
then there's your Article
So-
26 finally.
yeah, so there's my Article 26. I was working my way up to that. That's the ADU. So on each of these, we do have to have the planning board report and recommendation. I hope somebody's planning board is ready to do that.
Mhm.
So good. So each one of these unfortunately will be taken separately, my recommendation, because they're very different.
Okay.
Accessory dwelling units, that's the new statutory amendment to chapter 40A that the state is pushing hard on. So again, report recommendation of the planning board. Dave will be reading all the way through page 16. Now we're on to Article 17.
27.
Article 27 on page 16, amending the zoning bylaw use table. And this again relates to the accessory dwelling units, so that's a definition. Conceivably, 26 and 27 could be taken together, Dave, because they're both having to do with ADUs. One's the actual bylaw, one's the table of uses. Planning board would make its report recommendation, we can take 26 and 27 together.
Makes sense, because it's all the same.
It's basically the same thing. 28 is Article 28 is a change to the zoning bylaws, again, having to do with the definition of a lot. That stands separate, so that's 2/3. 29 is an amendment to the general bylaws, changing language with respect to work being performed on town-owned property without permission from the select board. So that one stands alone. That's a simple majority because that's a general bylaw. Article 30, transfer from the water department budget $350 to pay a bill of prior fiscal year. There are several bills of prior fiscal year. All these are 4/5. I don't think we ever get a question on these. So Article 30 is the one from the water department for Mario Godbout. Article 31 is $54.89 to Turley Publications. Article 32 is water bills, $30,176. I might get a little bit of interest. But those three, Dave, are all bills of prior fiscal year. They're 4/5 vote, but they're all the same statutory process. So I don't know if you want to take those together.
I would take 30 separately and 31 and 32 together, only because 30 comes from water department and 31, 32 are coming from free cash.
Okay. That's fine. The only one I could actually see any discussion of is 32, only because of the dollar amount, but that might not even raise current. 33 is an appropriation for the fireproof safe. That pretty much stands alone. 34 is revolving funds. So I think we've shortened our meeting tonight.
We'll see.
Fantastic.
We'll see.
That's what you think.
That's what I'm hoping.
How are we doing on time? Perfect.
Dave,
6 minutes to get down the hallway.
did you have anything else you want to say as moderator? I mean,
No, I think we're going, and we're still gonna vote by major category in the budget, right? And then vote the whole budget.
Yep.
Okay. Be good.
he's playing trombone.
Me type.
Oh, is it really?
Is that really you typing?
Yes, it is.
It is. Wow, it sounded like.
Can that go off?
What the computer do you
Oh, for,
Is there public comment on the agenda?
Eric, did you want to ask for public comment on the agenda?
Is there public comment on the agenda?
it is. Yeah.
Is it after?
Fire they are right now, and
Sorry, Karen.
Hey, excuse me, folks, we're still in a
Sorry,
meeting here.
Billy, zero voices.
30 public comment for the agenda.
I just wasn't quite sure where.
Did you have public comment? Go ahead.
The public comment is just a question
Questioning about when we're doing the appointments.
about the committee.
Yes, so we,
I printed several copies, I can give her one.
yeah, so she will get you, copies of the exact, jobs included in the committee. And then, if you guys want to express interest, we can do appointments. Next meeting, we can put it on the agenda for next meeting. Anyone else? You got 4 minutes. No? Right. Meeting will adjourn at 6, my clock says 6:59. Thank you.
6:56.
On to the bathroom.
Give my information.
I think that's.